One of the races of the weekend coming up on Saturday down at Del Mar will be the Grade 2 Pat O'Brien Stakes. Win and you're in to the Breeders' Cup World Championships later this year. In terms of the horse to beat, rightfully so, Speedboat beats the two, sits at 5-2, comes in for Baffert and Juan Hernandez, the 1-2 punch, who has been on quite the tear going through the meet. And for this 5-year-old Matt, if we get that top gear, surely going to be enough. We saw it in the Malibu, went over to Churchill earlier this season off that lengthy return and didn't quite have that same get-up.
Yeah, you know, he was favored at Churchill in the St. Matthews. There was all sorts of issues in that race. He essentially eased, bled, as you can see in the comments. And that was his first start in 20 months, something like that. So how much you got? He really hasn't run a race since opening day Santa Anita, when she won the Malibu in 2023. So he's really good. His Malibu win was superb. I mean, he's a Grade 1 winner. He ran excellent in the Breeders' Cup Sprint at Santa Anita. He led the majority of that race, got tired late. Elite Power, one of the best sprinters we've had over the last 20 years, able to win that race and won it in consecutive years after winning at Keeneland the prior year. He's a little feast or famine, though, isn't he? If he shows up with his A game, it's a Baffert horse. He very well could. He's going to be tough. This race is wide open. Then you have Dr. Venkman down on the inside for Mark Galad, who, one of those trainers, you just pencil him in, 21%. He's 21% on the year. He's 21% on the meeting. Here he is in the Kelly's Landing, in which he ran a very good second. He was the beaten favorite in this race. He likes it at Del Mar. All three of his lifetime wins at Del Mar, 3 for 9 lifetime. You know, the negative with this guy, Dubbs, is he has lost 4 in a row at odds of even money, 5-2, 8-5, and 3-1. And the last time he won a race was the San Diego over a year ago. That's 2 turns. He hasn't won a sprint race since career start number 2. That was 2 years ago. So this race is a good betting race because there are really some flaws you can find in some of the shorter price horses, which really opens things up a little bit. I mean, Stronghold is a major player in this race. I mean, he ran terrific in the Malibu. Really, that's his only sprint race of late, right? And he ran second to Raging Torrent, who came back to win, in Dubai, and then won the Met Mile. So I think Stronghold is a horse to really look at in this race. And the price isn't great, but he's not going to be favored in this race, because if Baffert has the morning line favored, he will be favored 98% of the time. So Stronghold is a horse that obviously would benefit from a hot pace. But, I think you throw out the Pegasus World Cup for this guy. His only start at Del Mar was in the Bob Hope. He was second to Nisos, who went 21-3 that day. This is a really good second. And if Speedboat Beach, even though it's a Baffert horse, if he needs a race or doesn't fire, there are some horses in here that are kind of in off form. And then you have the other Baffert, Maimon, who hasn't raced since February 11th of last year. So we're talking another year and a half. And this horse won by 7.5 his debut. So there are kind of some unknowns in this race, especially the two Bafferts. One hasn't raced in 18 months, and the other finished last in his start May 1st, and that was his first start in 20 months.
Wide open edition for this year's running of the Pat O'Brien Stakes. Baffert with a couple of big threats coming in for this one. Breeders' Cup win and you're in. So what's at stake? Well, automatic entry into the Breeders' Cup de Mile. You get $30,000 in entry fees covered by the Breeders' Cup. The nominator, they get a $10K award, and you've got that travel allowance if based outside of California. West Coast, Best Coast getting set to play host this year again for the Breeders' Cup, and that is fast approaching. A couple of big races as we move through the next couple of weeks. It is